I'm now in Changi village, trying to get a boat over to Pulau Ubin, a nearby island, but this is a really interesting village. This is the food court. It's right near the airport, and it's just a very non-touristy little place with restaurants. This is the little ferry terminal. Make sure you come here with cash. I could have just gotten on a boat with no wait, and now there might be a longer wait. I had to go figure out where the ATM was. So we're leaving the Changi village in a boat that's just like kind of random. Everybody said there was nature here, and it looks lovely. So there are some walking paths, and here is the island. I was warned that there can be wild boars and to stay on tracks to make sure you don't have an encounter. Here are some of the things I guess the island is known for. Prawn farming, wow. So you can see we are right by Changi Airport. The Changi Point ferry, which is where I left from, is close to Changi Airport. I found out about this little island from a Grab taxi driver. And this is what I mean about when you travel sort of by the seat of your pants and are just open to learning about things that you didn't book everything ahead of time. You can have experiences like this. So I don't know what I'm in for, but just a neat island day. And specifically also, if you are coming, make sure again that the ferry leaves from the Changi Point ferry terminal. I think there's also a Changi ferry terminal. Make sure you get the Changi Point ferry terminal, which you can get to with a Grab driver. It costs $4 one way on the ferry, $4 Singaporean. Make sure you have cash. They're not going to take any kind of cards. And you'll be riding on one of those kind of random little ferry dinghy kind of boats to get here. Another quick word on the zoo. So yesterday I was at the Singapore Zoo, and the night before that the night zoo. I had wanted to go to Jurong Bird Park, but it started pouring rain last night. So unfortunately I didn't get there, but I just have to say, and this is just my opinion, as someone that has been to Africa and now many parts of the world where I've seen animals out in the wild, I found both the night zoo and the Singapore Zoo very disappointing. I think if you have kids, you'll love the Singapore Zoo. It's really, really a fun day for the kids, but if you're an adult, not so much. And I was just heartbroken. You know, there was a cheetah, and they talk about how fast the cheetah can run. And I looked at the enclosure, I'm like, that cheetah would be on the other side of the enclosure before she started if she ran that fast. The night zoo is nice. I did see a pangolin. I have to say that was cool because I had never seen one and I had wanted to see one. But again, having seen these animals in the wild, it just pales in comparison. So nothing against, I think the zoo setup is lovely. I know some of the animals are being rehabilitated, but and you know, the orangutans are cool. But again, I kept imagining, wow, like what would they be like out in the wild in their element. So if I were to do Singapore again, I would leave out all the zoos. I didn't go to the River Zoo. I can't speak for the Jurong Bird Park. That might be a great experience, but don't recommend either of the Singapore zoos, personally speaking. I have a habit of getting a photo with a police officer in every country I visit, but I was told here they aren't allowed to be in photos with civilians, so that may not happen. The other thing is that the boats, there is no official schedule. You show up at the terminal and you just wait. It was very fast. I don't know, they can fit maybe 12 or 15 people on a boat. As soon as they get that many people, they just let you go. One disappointing thing is they didn't do any COVID vaccination checks, so would have felt more comfortable, but everyone is wearing a mask. So this is the main, I guess, CBD of this island, Pulau Ubin. You can rent a bike. Now, I've had bad experiences on bikes, so I'm not sure about that for me. Looks like if you want some fresh coconut water or milk, you can get that. Lots of bike rentals. A lot of restaurant options. Here's another warning. Looks like there's a temple right here. Another tip, if you're like me and when it's super humid and hot, you kind of melt, make sure that you bring some sort of chewable electrolytes or a powder in your water or something, because wow, it makes a huge difference. I just took one of my chewable electrolytes and just made a huge difference. The terrain changes very quickly as you walk or bike. Singapore may be the first place I have been, well, during my travels where there's no handcrafts. I'm in there was a small village back there with the bikes on an island, and not one stall had a local artisan selling anything locally made. Kind of surprised. Terrain changed again. In Singapore, they lifted some of the COVID bans fairly recently, and they have given huge incentives to locals. I think they get 30% off to go and do some of the local activities there are. So I see a lot of locals out because there aren't a lot of tourists at the moment. Oh, here's a local stand. and some dogs. I think the advice I got was correct. If you are looking for an experience in nature in Singapore, this is a wonderful place to come. This hill is supposed to bring me to, if I understand correctly, a great lookout. So let's see how it is. And I think you may be able to see Malaysia from some parts of this island. I believe this is looking back at Singapore. At least it looked that way from Google Maps. I would not do this walk on a rainy day. It's quite steep, and you can see you have handrails here, and I imagine this would be very slippery. I guess nobody listens. Okay, you don't have to climb, you just go here. And you can eat here in the rain. It just poured for about an hour, so I'm heading back to the mainland since the little island here will be too soggy to get around right now. Looks like I am not alone in my thought, wow, I guess this happened. It's a lot of rain.